All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Southern Tier Brewing Company, and they're out of Lakewood, New York, and this is their Citra Fog. So this is a hazy IPA that comes in at 6% alcohol by volume, 15 IBUs at the time of review, and this can is just over 3 weeks old and also has a best by date of August 7th of 2024, and we're over 5 months away from that date, so we should be good to go. So this is one of the latest releases from Southern Tier. It's brand new as far as I can tell, and it seems to be like an offshoot of their Lakeshore Fog, which was their hazy IPA that they released like 4.5, 5 years ago. I did review that on the channel, and I enjoyed that beer. Outside of the mouthfeel being a bit lacking, I thought it was pretty good, especially for like a shelfy hazy beer. So I'm curious about this one. So it says on the bottom here, it says citrus notes from Citra and Mandarina Bavaria hops. On their website, they also mentioned that they're using Simcoe and Mosaic, so those 4 hops. And yeah, we're gonna give it a go. I'm excited to see what this one's all about. It's been, I think, about a year since I've reviewed something that was hop forward from Southern Tier on the channel. So give it a pour. Wow, that is incredibly light. I did not expect that to be as light as it is. Give it a hard pour here. Try to muster up a head, which we were able to do. Throw this over here. Now this label reminds me of, I don't remember what beer it was, but it was from the Great Lakes Brewing Company out of Cleveland. They have like a similar label, in my opinion. I can't remember the beer. I wish I remembered it. But when I saw it, I was like, is that? No, that's a Southern Tier beer. It's not from Great Lakes. Anyway, yeah, that has, on camera, it's probably be more dulled out in person. Very sunshine-esque kind of look to it. I'll be honest with you, if this was in a can from a hype brewery, I would think outside of the head retention, but even so, that happens a lot. I think a lot of people would be like, oh, that looks appropriate for like one of these, almost milky looking, lighter color, hazy beers nowadays. Hold it up to the light. Yeah, there's a little bit of light getting through in the bottom. Otherwise, it's murky and turbid. Again, that head dissipating, kind of a bummer, but again, that happens a lot with a lot of these new age hazies. It was basically off-white and soap sudsy to some degree. But yeah, I mean, honestly, in the hashtag, proper glassware, I think this looks pretty nice outside of the head retention, and I've said that a lot recently with these beers, but it kind of looks like your new school hazy, and I don't hate it, Let's see what the nose is like. Wow, they weren't bullshitting. Doesn't say natural flavor anywhere, does it? Ooh, so it does say made with milk sugar. I did not see it. It doesn't mention lactose. Now, to be honest with you, there's a lot of, even the hype breweries will put lactose in their beer for like the body, the mouthfeel, a little bit of sweetness and whatnot, and they don't have to disclose that. It's not a law you have to put milk sugar or lactose on the label. So this one is brewed with lactose, but it doesn't have the, I don't see like ale with natural flavors at all. Unless I'm an idiot and I just don't see it. It just says ale. So they're not doing the natural flavors thing like they did with their, I forget the name of their juicy, the Juice Jolt and the 2X Juice Jolt, kind of like New Belgium does with the Fruit Force and the Juice Force and everything. They end up smelling too artificial. This doesn't have that. The reason I asked that is because the citrus notes in this are fucking bonkers in the nose. Like sweet ripened, like it's like orange juice, but like a sweet, like you bit into like an orange slice that's very ripened. Ruby red grapefruit with like a sugar sprinkled on top. Probably the lactose making it seem a little bit sweeter, honestly. It's a nice like candied, peach gummy ring. Peach ring. I don't know why I said peach gummy ring. It's peach rings, Joe. Peach rings. Yeah. Maybe a touch of a melon too. Like a touch of like a watermelon. It's mostly sweeter citrus, that peach ring, like a candied peach ring, a little bit of melon, a very slight herbaceousness too. Honestly, for, again, Southern Tier, they're basically a shelfie brewery at this point, which I like shelfie breweries. I like being able to pick up beers at a grocery store, a gas station, or at my local bottle shop very easily at a reasonable price. This smells awesome. It really does. Maybe a little bit too sweet because I think the lactose, maybe it's just the beer itself. But it smells really fucking good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. All right, let me go back in for another sip. Let me pour the rest in here. What am I going to say about this one? Well, this happens a lot, not just with shelfy beers like this. Again, it's in the hashtag proper glassware. What can I say about this? I say this a lot about hop forward beers nowadays, especially hazies. The nose is definitely better than the taste. I'd imagine they're dry hopping it. Maybe they're double dry hopping it. I don't know. But I just feel like the noses in a lot of these new school hazy beers are just so boisterous, in your face, intense, and then you drink it, it's like, it's dialed back. That's what's happening here. The nose was fantastic. The taste is somewhat plain Jane. It really is. All right, let's do body mouthfeel. Body on this one for 6%. Lower side of medium body, it's fine. Here's the thing with this beer that I noticed with the Lakeshore Fog, which I already mentioned. The mouthfeel isn't in that upper echelon or even like higher tier of the hype breweries or even like just the better breweries when it comes to hazies. It has too much, it's like moderately carbonated, and it doesn't have that like, somewhat smooth, creamy sensation. They're using lactose, so that's kind of weird. I think it's just probably helping with the sweetness, although not really in the taste. Maybe the body as well, but again, the body is fine. The mouthfeel is lacking. That's the best way I can explain this one from the body and mouthfeel perspective. The taste, the nose was screaming again, sweeter citrus fruits from, orange to ruby red grapefruit to peach rings to a little bit of melon. The taste, nah. The taste is very citrus heavy, but specifically for me, I'm getting orange and white grapefruit, and it's not overly sweet. It's not candied, which some people might like. I don't actually dislike it, but the nose was so like concentrated of just like a fruit bowl, and on the taste, it's dialed back. There's also this slightly grainy, kind of like crackery kind of malt sensation, which is cool. Kind of lets you know it's a lower ABV hazy. That hits me right at the forefront, dives underneath the palate. Then I get that citrus. Midway through the palate, I get a little bit of like an underripened peach as opposed to, again, a peach gummy ring. Peach rings. And then on the second half of the palate, I get this slightly floral kind of herbaceous kind of note, like a little, or maybe like a tomato stalk, like a tomato vine, something in that realm, like a little bit of a greenness to it, but not like a greenness from like a hop burn or like just too many hops. Like a lot of these, new age hazy beers are. It's more like a green, like a tomato vine or a stalk. It finishes full on dry, very mild bitterness, more dry than anything. I thought it was going to be too sweet based on the nose. It turns out it's probably not sweet enough for what I'm like. I mean, this is the thing. For shelfy hazy, this is fine. Like, I'm okay with it. The nose will set me up for disappointment. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'm kind of disappointed from that aspect. But if you like citrus heavy, hazy IPAs that, again, lean to the orange, grapefruit side of things, maybe even a little bit of like a tangerine, I think this would be in your wheelhouse. To me, it's not bad, but it's also one of these beers where the nose was better, and it's very reminiscent of Lakeshore Fog. I think Lakeshore Fog was better than this beer for me personally. I think I gave Lakeshore Fog like a 3.9, a 4. This is going to be a little bit lower. But for a shelfy hazy, not that bad. But again, the nose was just kind of disappointing. It's a shame. Again, it's fine. It's a solid hazy IPA. Nothing more, nothing less for me. And it is what it is. So Citra Fog from Southern Tier, absolutely no issues whatsoever. I'm going to give this a low 3.75, I'll go 3.7. I think that's where this one lands. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy I picked up a single of it. I don't think I would go back to it. I think I'd rather have the Lakeshore Fog. I don't even know if they sell. I haven't seen the Lakeshore Fog in a while. I don't know if that's still something they have on the shelves or something they still have in rotation. But again, there's so many beers out there now, and distro's really weird, so I have no idea. Speaking of distro, this beer, price point, we'll go first, then distro, but price point, I paid like $2.19 for that can. I think 6-packs were like $11.99 6-pack. That's fine. It's a shelfy hazy, 6%, 4 different hops that are pretty popular. I'm okay with, around $2 a can. That's fine. And a distro, here's where distro is crazy. It's Southern Tier. There's a lot of people that be like, I can get that, I can't. Here in the Buffalo, New York area, we obviously get most of Southern Tier stuff, considering the brewery's like, 75 minutes away from Buffalo. I would say this, you'll probably see this if you see a lot of their seasonals or rotating offerings. If you're in an area where you just get like their core lineup, you might not see this one. However, if you get like some of their beers in the Blackwater series or a lot of their new hop forward releases, you'll probably see this one. And I would encourage you to grab a single of this, see what you think. I couldn't advocate buying a 6-pack off the rip just because, again, I don't think I'd go back to this personally, but, you know, to each their own. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section, let me know what you thought about it. What do you think? Do you think Lakeshore Fog was better than this? Do you think this one's better? What's your favorite IPA? I have to go back and review some of the classics from them. Their IPA, their 2X IPA. Those are classic beers. I never loved those beers, but I always thought they were well made. And I think I'd rather have one of those probably over this at this point. One more sip, just make sure we're not doing them a disservice here by giving them a 3.7. Yeah, it's solid. It's solid. It's decent. I do enjoy it. It's just, man, the nose. Yeah, the nose is way better. It's more vibrant. The nose is more vibrant, just didn't carry over into the taste, and that is a bummer. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. I was going to grab to the next one. Cheers.